And we are back. It's Tuesday afternoon, and we are here with Hot Jobs with us at Hire Military. If we haven't met before, I'm Lucy. I'm one of the recruiters here, and with me today is Amber. Hey, Amber, how are you?
Hello, Lucy. I'm good.
Good week so far?
Yes, it is.
Bad week so far. How are we feeling?
I'll spare the audience the details of the craziness of my week, but today is better. It is actually sunny outside today, so that's nice. I'll probably go for a walk later, but yeah, it's good. And for everybody, solo parenting is not for the faint of heart when you're not used to it. I truly appreciate my spouse. Will more when he's back.
I know a lot of military spouses will empathize and that will resonate with them. And a lot of service members transitioning and veterans will understand what you're talking about from the other side of the coin. We are here for everybody in the military community today. So if you're with us, welcome. It is so wonderful to have you here. If you're new, I'm very excited about the information and the opportunities that we have to share with you today. If you've been around the block and joined us once or twice before, welcome back. Thanks for coming, and we really appreciate seeing you this afternoon. We have new SkillBridge internships to share with you today, new direct hire or, in the civilian speak or military speak permanent job opportunities to share with you. And we have some information, advice, suggestions, and Amber and I like to talk a little bit about our week just in terms of what's been good, what's been bad, and lessons learned to share with you so that you don't repeat other people's mistakes. And I absolutely promise you, we always do this with love in our hearts. Michael, hello. It's really great to see you. I really hope you're well. We have a question for you before we get started today. And this will feed into what we want to talk about in a couple of minutes' time. But have you ever applied for a role through LinkedIn? Have you ever pressed that easy apply button? Or have you ever submitted out an application directly through LinkedIn without going to the website for that company itself? And I promise you there's a reason why we want to know the answer to that question, and we will come back to that. But before we move over to that and segue over there, we have a new organization to share with you today that we met with at the back end of last week. And they want us to amplify their message and the information that they have around opportunities they've got going on at the moment. So, Calm Seas Psychotherapy. I am sure that you have not heard of this company, this organization before, but they are so open to having first responders, military veterans, transitioning service members, and military spouses join their organization. And I will tell you why. In 2019, they were founded, and currently they are a leading national provider of mental health services for law enforcement, military, and our families. With a huge focus on trauma-informed care, they offer a massive range of services, including individual therapy, couples counseling, and group therapy. They have a real commitment to excellence, and we found that when we met with them last week. And they have become a teaching institute as a result, training future mental health professionals to serve our nation's heroes. And I say our nation because Amber got a view of this earlier. I got my US passport this morning. So our nation, not just English anymore. The reason why we are sharing this is for you to know that they exist, if this is something that you or your family is looking to utilize in the future, but also because they have jobs and they want to hire from our community. So currently they are recruiting a remote intake coordinator, but also they have multiple opportunities for licensed marriage and family therapists. If you're in the know, if this is your jam, you will be an LMFT. All of these positions are remote. They are on our website if you want to read more or hear more about them. If you want us to share the link during this live, please do write Calm Seas, and we can share that with you as soon as we have the opportunity. So that's Calm Seas Psychotherapy, a great organization for any kind of therapy services that you or your family may be looking to utilize, but they have got roles and they want essentially to recruit from our population here on LinkedIn and within the higher military family. So Who has pressed the easy apply? Andrew Rosen, you have. That's great to know. Michael, you have too. Perfect. Amber, why are we asking that question? Why do we want to know that?
Well, I think we want to know because we were initially talking about kind of the difference between what you see on one side of LinkedIn as the candidate versus what the recruiter sees on the back end, and understanding how what you put in, there's only a limited amount that we get to see unless you fill out the entirety of the LinkedIn profile and you actually know where to put specific information, because there are specific blocks that we look for things in. And we could go very deep into that, but on a general level, yes, we're comparing what you see as an applicant versus what we see on the other side.
And that's absolutely it. So let me share with you. My role is a recruiter. Amber's role is a recruiter. If we didn't have the corporate companies that engage with us, we would have nothing to share with you. So primarily we work for them. They give us what we call the recs, so the opportunities, the jobs, Skillbridge internships, and we work to those. And sometimes they give us some tricky wickets, and we're looking for needles in haystacks. So we have the opportunity and we have the ability as recruiters. We have a subscription to the back end of LinkedIn. And we have a very different user interface there. I'm saying that because it's my screen over here that I look at normally. And so what we do is we type in, so the first box we will check is military veteran, because we are recruiting from this community and it's really important for us to present military affiliated candidates to our clients. So we check that box. But then we also check the skill sets that we know our clients absolutely need. And so you will know when you built your LinkedIn profile, you were able to click or find your skills. It could have been like your IT stack, or it could have been finance or accounting, or it might be HR. Sort of those drop-down lists, and you can click them through. It's really worth revisiting and going back to your LinkedIn profile and identifying, from a recruiter's perspective, if they were looking for you, if they were looking for a candidate for your perfect job, would they find you? So as an example, I'm looking for a graphic designer. So I type in graphic designer. Oh, Brian, that's a good point. We'll come back to that as well. I type in graphic designer. I type in secret clearance or clearance. So that's a piece. If you have an active clearance at the moment, do make sure that that is really visible on your profile, because we use that as one of our filters, one of our checks. But I might be looking for a bachelor's degree. I might be looking for Adobe Suite and specifics within the Adobe Suite. So I use all of those as my keywords, because, and then I will put the location in. So make sure that you've got the metro area that you want to work in, because I wouldn't just search Washington, DC. I would search Washington, DC, Baltimore. That's the area that comes up specifically for that region. And it comes up with a list of people that might be suitable. So I look through, it might have 2,000, Amber, mightn't it? Or it might have 200. And then we add in more filters to bring that number down to maybe 40 or 50, so that we can go through and really refine the list before we reach out and send a very unsolicited, cold message to people saying, hey, found you on LinkedIn, you're open to work. Are you interested? And actually, that's a really good point to kind of stop and pause, but also to acknowledge. It's really helpful for us. And I know that there is a real conflict on LinkedIn about, oh, it makes you look just desperate. Don't put the open to link banner up. As recruiters, we love the open to link checkbox that you can check if you don't want people to know you're open to work. Or I love the banner, because as a visual, I can glide my eyes down the screen and I can see genuinely who is open to work. So I guess where we're coming from today, and I'm going to hand over to Amber because I hate to monologue, is really consider what your profile looks like if you want to be found, if you want to be headhunted, if you want your profile to work passively for you in terms of the job search. Because I promise you, I am not the only recruiter out there. Amber does it too, but every recruitment company does it. And we pay a lot of money to be able to do this. You want to be found. You're looking for a role right now. Please maximize your chances of success by putting into the front end what I am searching in the back end. Any thoughts there? Amber, I was about to call you Brian.
No, I agree. And I'll add from the transitioning service member side, right, for the SkillBridge and CSP. This is controversial too, and maybe Mike Quinn will say the complete opposite, but I'm going to tell you as the recruiter, I love.
He's not a recruiter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love when you put in your headline that you're transitioning service member and you put what month you're transitioning, because what I find happens, and I do apologize to people, and I put a note in my emails that say, I apologize if I reached out to you and you are no longer open to work, or this isn't in your wheelhouse, because I am essentially going in blind sometimes on the back end with what information you have, if it's even updated. I mean, I just sent emails last week and I had people come back and go, oh, I transitioned 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. That's not what your profile said. So I apologize. So I mean, take advantage of LinkedIn essentially is what we're saying. Use it to your advantage, update it often, because you never know where the next opportunity is going to come from. And that's whether you're transitioning from the military or you're a civilian and you're just changing jobs or you're looking to change jobs. You want to keep it updated. And again, as a SkillBridge recruiter, please put transitioning service member with your transition month, because I love it. And your clearance is extremely important. And I say that because on our end, we don't see your full profile when we are searching. We only see your headline, your education, your current job. Again, with the current job, if you're no longer in the military and you're not currently working, it's okay to put when your military career ended, whether, it was a year ago, 4 months ago, because that also is something that we kind of work in the timeline of when we're searching for people is, are they still active duty? Because I'm searching for people who are still active duty sometimes. And then other times we're searching for people who just have military experience, and we have a nice button that helps us do that in LinkedIn Recruiter. So everything you can add to your profile to make it more complete, more thorough representation of you is going to put you in a better position.
And I think what Amber said there about keeping it current is really important. So we have drafted and I think it's a really nice message that says like, hey, this is unsolicited. Sorry if this is not right for you. We can't see all of your profile. So please ignore if you're not interested. And lots of people come back and say, why are you sending this to me? I don't live in Houston. I live in New York City. Because they haven't updated, or their job preferences have changed as well. So in LinkedIn, you can put the titles of the roles that you're looking for. You can put the locations. You can put if you're open to relocate. Maximize your chances of success by filling all of that out. And I was about to say a word from the wise. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I connected with somebody once, and I was looking for a candidate for a DC-based role. And his profile said Washington, DC. And I connected with him and he was like, no, it was California somewhere. Let's just say it was San Francisco or San Clemente. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, your profile says DC. And he said, yeah, I find that a lot more people reach out to me if I have that. And it really upset me because it was a time waster. He's plugged in false information to get people to connect with him that he's got no chance of, even being open to opportunities. He just wants to still hear about them. And I'm like, pal, that's really, really frustrating from my perspective, because I see you look amazing. You're open to work. You have Washington, DC. I think my stars have aligned here. I think I've done it. And then no, not so much. But, Brian, I feel like the easy apply button is perhaps a conversation for another day. Amber, maybe we should have that one. But, and I know that Amber and I are not huge fans of it either. There's definitely a time and a place. But if that is your time and your place to press that button and you want to do it, please take heed of the information and advice and guidance, suggestions that we've made. That button is supported by the maximization of your profile and how much information you put in. Lots of people have got literally nothing except a photo and their current role, not even their certifications. And that's important. Make sure they're all there as well, their education. If you want to hit that easy apply button, you've got to do the work ahead of time to make it easy for you. Right, I think that's kind of it. We've covered up what we were going to say. Anything else to add?
Yeah, no, I just want to acknowledge something Andrew said really quick. He said, I have been seeing that 30 to 40% of jobs are ghost jobs. Thoughts? Interesting. On LinkedIn, I would ask. I mean, I've heard of it. I haven't personally come
You,
across a job that's a ghost job, but I can't say that it's not happening. It's the internet. Yeah.
it most likely is happening. I am not aware because that is not a practice we take part in the UK. Whereas you can tell I come originally from, that is illegal. That is against the law to do that, and that is just something I have subscribed to ever since. I know that organizations can and may do it to capture candidates for pipeline purposes, so that when a role actually does come in, they've got people already lined up, ready to connect with. But yeah, and Krista's right, actually. It costs money to advertise. But I think that now that you've put IT specifically, I can absolutely say it probably is incredibly likely. And I don't even know right now how you would identify whether they were ghost jobs or not. But lots of organizations work in the government space and they work contingently. They know that they may be winning contracts. They are trying to pipeline candidates as and when things come in, so they can hit the react button, and what they work on a best athlete basis. So it's the company that gets there first, wins the requisition, wins the job. So it could possibly be in that sort of circumstance.
I have a piece of advice for Andrew. I don't know if it'll work all the time. I have tested it a couple times. If you see a job on Indeed or Monster or any one of those other websites, right, or even LinkedIn, this is where the open to or the easy apply button came from, where I say don't do that. Because if you go to their website and that job is not listed on their careers page,
Yeah.
likely that is not a role that they are actively pursuing in order to hire, if that makes sense. That would be the piece of advice that I would give for that. Always go check their careers page.
And when I was a career counselor, I would always share that advice. Never apply through LinkedIn, always apply through their careers page, because you will go into their database and they will look at that. We have the auto pings, candidates who come in, we see them immediately. Whereas LinkedIn, because it's a third party platform, we don't necessarily, they kind of get stacked and racked before we see them. So sorry that you've had that experience or you're having it. I absolutely know that it probably is happening. Like, look at that, that's a conflict. It is happening. I just don't know how I would be able to tell, apart from using the skill set that Amber shared there. So a lot of information and good questions. It's really nice to have this conversation, and we really welcome these questions. So if you have any more for us, please do hit us with them, even as we are talking. So as we go into the conversation today about the opportunities that we have, please do be a motivated job seeker. All of our vacancies are on our careers page, which is under hiremilitary.us. This is a highlight reel that we will be sharing today. These are the ones that we are working thick and fast on, the ones that our clients want candidates this week, maybe early next week, because they do really want to recruit for the beginning of January. So if there is anything that is of interest to you, you can either put the job title in the chat so that we can come back and share the URL with you later, or you can take a look at yourself at our website, find the role and see if you fit the qualification criteria and if you want to make an application. As we go along, do know though, as you make applications to companies, be sure to target your resume. Please do. And I know that it takes a bit of time and it's complicated in the sense that you can't just hit apply and throw your resume across, but I promise you, you will see more from it. It will be more fruitful in terms of a process if you take that opportunity to demonstrate why you are a competitive candidate for that company based on their job qualification criteria. And I'm going to steal Amber's phrase here. What she always says and how she positions a job description is, that is the question. That is what the company is asking. That is their problem right now, the job description. The solution is your resume, how the two match together, apple to apple, pair to pair, and how they go together. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody's experience and career history that matches into their job description. So what do we have here? I have a senior complex claims adjuster role. You can be located in Atlanta, Houston, Jersey City, Philadelphia, or Chicago. This is paying around the 110 per year mark, so 110,000, maybe a little bit more. And what they are looking for is somebody from a military legal background. So we've identified that paralegal is a great career, a great skill set to have, great job to have had in the military. But I have had successful candidates go through interview who have a JD in law, a little bit of law experience, and they're in the reserves or they're in the National Guard. So if this sounds like you and you've got a semblance of legal experience in your background, I would love to chat to you because they have multiple opportunities right now with a very good company that has significant benefits that I'm very proud to share with my candidates. Second role I have today is a business continuity specialist. This is working for a GovCon specifically in Congress. It's on site, downtown DC, must have a secret clearance. You'd have to have, without a shadow of a doubt, continuity of operations, planning experience. And I mean from inception, from writing those coups through to delivery and execution. That is an absolute deal breaker. Military experience is a huge plus here, as well as professional demeanor. So if that sounds like you and you think, I could kind of be interested in that, connect with me, drop me a DM, join the chat and add a comment, or take a look at our website. I would love to hear from you. Going from DC to Detroit, I am currently recruiting a plant manager, a health and safety manager, and an HR manager. All of these are looking for candidates from a military background, ideally. They are on site and they are looking for ideally manufacturing experience or third-party logistics experience. I can share further detail with you. Great company. We've worked with them for a couple of years and they are looking to bring people in to start in January. So if you are in Detroit, you are looking for a facility-based position, please do connect and we can gladly share more detail. Moving back to the National Capital Region, we have two roles with one of the Big Four consulting firms. If you're not familiar with Big Four, you probably have heard of Deloitte, EY, KPMG, PwC. We work with one of those on the internal Army audit program. I am recruiting a senior auditor. So you need to have 6 years of federal finance and accounting experience, be familiar with Army business policies and practices, familiar with federal accounting, like I said, and federal financial management, and familiar with internal controls. That's one position. Army background is a plus, but any kind of military background so that you can speak that military language as well as the professional language in that environment. We also have a part-time graphic designer. Both of these roles do require a clearance, and the graphic designer will be on site probably for a couple of hours a week. It is a 20 to 25 hour a week role, so part-time, and very much working on professionalizing and making their documents and their collateral far more beautiful to be presented through to key stakeholders. So we're talking about newsletters, slide decks, that kind of thing. Somebody who is hugely proficient in Adobe, as well as the Microsoft suite would be an ideal candidate there. If you know anybody, if that's you, definitely connect with me because I would love to chat. Going back to finance, we are working with the Defense Logistics Agency nationwide. All of these roles are on our website, and if you submit an application, you do not need to submit a federal resume. Just a Joe Schmo ordinary civilian one will suffice on this occasion. And they wanted us to share a few of their roles that they are really looking to fill right now. They're key roles for them. So they've got accountants, and the locations for these are Richmond, Virginia, Whitehall, Ohio, Battle Creek, Michigan, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, New Cumberland, Pennsylvania, and Fort Belvoir in Virginia. So that's accountants at the DLA in those locations. And we also have a financial systems analyst in Philadelphia. If that is where you are, you've got a finance background, you want to work GS and you are interested. If you would like the link, let us know or take a look at our website. And finally, I'm going to enter into Amber's territory, into her space, just dip my toe in to share a couple of positions, and then I'm absolutely handing over to her. On the SkillBridge side, SkillBridge internship, or CSP if you are Army, we have 3 roles with one of our favorite companies that we work with, Veteran Service Brands. The name is on the tin. It is a company that is staffed solely with veterans. It is a franchise opportunity, but these roles are W2 positions. The franchisees in Kansas City, Missouri, and Tulsa, Oklahoma are looking for operations managers to support the owner-operators there. They both work on the G-Force parking lot striping franchise, hugely successful. They are looking for candidates who are transitioning out of the military to kind of pull a double duty type of role, to pull their sleeves up and to help with the parking lot striping, but also on the other hand, be able to help develop the business for future success. The third position we have is a business developer role, and that is in Baltimore. It is a hybrid position. Now, all 3 of these would consider a permanent candidate, but in an ideal world would prefer SkillBridge just so that they have the ability to train and ramp up. So the business developer is purely working on warm leads. There is no cold calling, no cold business. They are getting so much business over there at the moment that they are kind of dropping the ball in terms of being able to get back to people quickly enough. And they really want somebody to take the reins, develop that, build relationships, and close deals. It's a really lovely position for somebody leaving active duty who would like to jump feet first into a corporate position, but with a very similar environment to the one that they've left. So that's Veteran Service Brands, SkillBridge, business developer in Baltimore, which is a hybrid role. So that means work from home for a bit, in office for a bit, and operations managers in Kansas City and Tulsa. Amber, tag you're it. Over to you.
All right, perfect. Okay, so I have 2 roles that I'm going to share for SkillBridge. Again, if you have questions about SkillBridge or you're confused, I will just say SkillBridge CSP, when we talk about those internships, they are for those active duty service members who have not transitioned out yet, who are doing so in the next year. So if you have questions, just let me know if you're interested in a role. One of these 2 roles, drop a chat or a comment in the chat and I will message you directly. So the first one I have is, and again, these are need to fill, want to fill, or get people over to start by January, February timeframe. So we have technical support engineers. This is a remote position for the SkillBridge and the SkillBridge only. And I'll explain more. So we are working with an IT company who's looking for solutions engineers to become part of their team. You're going to learn how to deliver product expertise using demos, presentations, provide technical support. You're going to do a variety of things for them. For this position, you do need to be available to move full-time once the position's over to one of 4 locations where you'll work a hybrid position. And that's Denver, Colorado, San Francisco, California, New York City, New York, and Boston, Massachusetts. And I will say during the SkillBridge interview process, I've talked to this company several times. Their interview process is thorough. And the reason for that is because if they bring you on as a SkillBridge intern, they have full intent to hire you, which is why the process is long and it is lots of questions are going to be asked. But I will say this is a great role for entry-level IT. There are some requirements in terms of skill, so they would prefer someone who has Python experience, other kind of scripting language, Java, ability to interpret lines of code, foundation of Linux would be great. So if you have dabbled and you have some experience, I'd still like to talk to you just to kind of get a feel for what your background looks like and what you want going forward. So again, this is for technical support engineer. The The SkillBridge position is remote, but the full-time position is hybrid on-site in one of the 4 main locations. The next role I have, I'm just going to continue really quickly with DLA. That's another one that we're working really, really hard. DLA finance roles are also available for SkillBridge, not just direct hire. So if you had every intention of wanting to get a GS job after the military, this is your way in. If you have a finance or a business background or accounting, they want you to do their SkillBridge program, and they will convert you to a GS civilian role once the internship is complete. It is fantastic, and you don't need a federal resume. Can I say that again? You just need a regular resume. And so we're working with them again. It's business analyst, financial liaison, accountant, and accounting system specialist. And those are in Virginia, Philadelphia, Ohio, Michigan, and San Antonio. So please go take a look at all of those on our website. They are fantastic roles, and send me a message if you're interested. And that is all I have, Lucy.
That is all you have. Sorry, I muted myself and then my mouse wasn't working. It's still a lot of information that we've shared today, and I really appreciate your time with us, Amber. We have gone 1 minute over, which is unusual for us. Normally we are right on the nose. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We will be back next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, hopefully with some more new opportunities and information to share. Maybe we'll talk about the easy apply button on LinkedIn next week. Thank you, everybody. We hope you have wonderful weeks. Take care. Bye-bye.